England was one half away from their first World Cup final since 1966. They were up a goal. They had Argentina on the ropes. And then, with the game still very much alive, their manager made one decision that changed everything. 19 minutes later, they were out. This isn't about bad luck. It isn't about penalties this time. It's about a tactical call, made in real time, that a lot of very smart football people think cost England the game. Stick around, because by the end of this you'll understand exactly what went wrong, and why it wasn't the first time England has made this exact mistake. Section 1, the setup. Let's rewind to Atlanta, July 15, 2026. England vs Argentina. World Cup semifinal. This is the biggest game of Thomas Tuchel's England career. Win this, and it's England's first World Cup final since 1966. Lose, and it's another chapter in the same old story. 55 minutes in, Anthony Gordon scores. England 1, Argentina 0. In theory, that's the platform. Push on, get a second, close it out. In practice, England did something very different. Section 2, the switch. Here's where it gets interesting. Instead of pushing for a second goal, Tuchel pulled England back. He moved to a back five. More defenders, fewer attackers. The whole shape designed to shut the game down and protect that one goal lead. Sounds smart, right? Sit deep, keep your shape, run the clock out. This sounds simple. It isn't, because a back five doesn't just defend the box, it gives the other team the entire midfield. And when the other team has Lionel Messi in it, giving him time and space is basically an invitation. Section 3, the part that actually worked, once. Now, here's the twist. This wasn't a brand new idea. England had used a back five just days earlier, in the quarter-final against Mexico. They went down to 10 men and still won 3-2. Pundits were calling Tuchel a genius for it, so you can see the logic. It worked once, why not run it back? Here's the problem. Mexico isn't Argentina, and defend a lead with 10 men is a completely different situation than defend a lead with a full squad against the best player on the planet. Same tactic, completely different opponent. That distinction matters more than people think. Section 4, the collapse. You know the type of goal that changes a tournament. This was two of them. With England sitting deep, Argentina kept the ball, kept probing, kept crossing. Messi found space out wide that he simply hadn't had all half. In the 85th minute, Enzo Fernandez scored to make it 1-1. 7 minutes later, deep into stoppage time, Lautaro Martinez found a gap between two English defenders and scored the winner. Final score: Argentina 2, England 1. Game over. Final gone. 12% possession is what England had between Gordon's goal and full time. 12%. That's not defending a lead. That's barely touching the ball. Section 5, the substitutions nobody understood. Here's where the criticism really piles up. Around the 82nd minute, with the score still 1-0, Tuchel made two more defensive substitutions. Off went an attacker, on came extra defensive cover. In theory, more bodies back there means more protection. In practice, it meant England had almost nobody left up the pitch to relieve the pressure. No outlet. No way to simply pass it up the field and make Argentina defend for a while. Just wave after wave of Argentina attacks, and an England team with nowhere to breathe. Former players and pundits were blunt about it afterward. The general consensus? England had the lead and the momentum, and the changes took both away. Section 6. This isn't even new. Here's the part that stings the most. This wasn't a one-off mistake. People who'd watched England all tournament pointed out they'd done this before, sitting too deep against Croatia in the group stage. Similar patterns against Mexico and Norway in the knockouts, just without the same punishment. The difference this time was the opponent had the class to make England pay for it. And that's the real story here. It's not that England panicked once under pressure. It's that protect the lead, invite the pressure seems to be the instinct every single time the stakes get highest. Different manager than a few years ago. Same outcome. Section 7, the defense of the decision. To be fair, Tuchel didn't back down afterward. He stood by the switch and pointed to England's football culture more broadly as the deeper issue, rather than just his own substitutions in the moment. That's a bigger, more uncomfortable claim. It says the problem isn't one bad call in one game. It says the problem might be baked into how England has been coached to play for years, long before he arrived. Whether you buy that or not, one thing is hard to argue with. When England had the lead and the ball, they chose to give both away. And against a team with Messi in it, that's a gamble that rarely pays off. The takeaway. So let's go back to where we started. England were one half away from their first World Cup final in 60 years. They had the lead. They had the momentum. And in the biggest moment of the tournament, they chose to protect what they had instead of pushing for more. One sentence version: England didn't lose the semi-final in the final minutes. They lost it the moment they stopped trying to win it. So here's the question worth sitting with. If England had kept pushing instead of sitting back, do they reach the final? Or was this always going to happen eventually, no matter who was managing? If this kind of breakdown is your thing, you know what to do. Hit subscribe, because there's a lot more of this coming.